they could describe everything with one single word. You know?
What's this? Another weekend and another video? Yes sir. I am not late for once, so let's get into the video. The devs have dropped a thread for us to read, a mini announcement of sorts, and we have some answers to our questions. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, so I will be highlighting them in this very video. There's a few questions that stood out, and if I'm being honest, there's not much that weren't just people complaining and or arguing with each other. So without you having to scroll, here is a few of these questions. Will we still be able to change the name in the future? Can you log out of your account still? Will having multiple accounts be bannable though? Like, what if I want one account on PC and one account on my phone? Will it be against the rules? Will people with known usernames like YouTubers be able to reserve their usernames? Pixelworld's admin, how will you guys earn the support of the game if no alts are allowed? Most of the funds came from multiple account VIP purchasers. This means you will need to create silly IAPs, or even worse, battle passes? Pixelworld's admin, does this mean accounts are tied to IP or Gmail or what, if it's one account per player? Can't the devs pre-make accounts for content creators? And when the game launches, they just log in and change their info, like the password or something? Maybe the devs can cook something up. Just a quick thought, don't kill me for this. Saskia, will this be enforced in a proper way? Bypassing the solution or just removing the logout button is really easy, and you can just, for example, multi-box regularly. I don't think in Nexus this was really enforced, and it's the same thing here. I think this change is rather just a hit on the community than the actual exploiters. If it's actually properly enforced, I think the change can be good though. These are the ways to bypass: making a new Steam account and resetting your router or VPN, deleting the game from your phone or your PC and the VPN, multiple devices and the VPN. Some of the questions, however, were answered, and here's those that were answered by Saskia, or PW admin, which most likely is Saskia, as she is the social media manager as of now. So here they are. Saskia, plans for name reservations for people with known usernames to prevent impersonation?
This is a tricky one to balance. Totally understand the motivation, but where do we draw the line in terms of being known? I'm guessing you're asking from a content creation perspective, no?
Content creation, yep. I've already had people tell me they're gonna try and take my account.
Sure, I get that. We'll give it some thought.
Saskia, so we're unable to log out?
There is no logout button anymore. Nope.
Why should YouTubers have more rights than normal players?
It wouldn't be about rights, but it would be thinking about protecting against impersonation in the same way that no one will be able to claim the account by the name of Saskia.
Will this be enforced in a proper way? Bypassing the solution of just removing the logout button is really...
Yep, fair point. Changes are only as good as the actions that back them up. The goal isn't just the login setup itself, but a broader effort around account misuse and protecting the economy. So, we'll be actively monitoring and taking action where needed to keep things fair.
Does this mean accounts are tied to IP or Gmail, Steam accounts, or what?
Playing on the same Wi-Fi will be fine.
Is there going to be a level barrier or not?
Yes, we'll be putting a post out about this in a week.
Will we be able to use the same account on Steam and mobile?
Yes.
2 is definitely needed for content creators who want to do the challenge on a fresh account.
This was something that was on my mind too with the Road to series from the past. I even wanted to make tutorial videos. My best advice is to create that content with your new account straight from the get-go, because I cannot make promises for secondary accounts or even profiles at this point. These are good ideas and they have been discussed amongst the team. However, it will take a while before these things are even implemented because account name change is the most popular. However, if we do implement this, we will need a place or a way for previous names to be showed to prevent impersonation and or scamming.
Based on these questions, there's already threats of account stealing just to troll. There's already methods to bypass the account limit. There's unfortunately, as seen thus far, no way for us as content creators to pre-make a username or anything. There's quite a lot of work to be done. Will these be able to be finished or at least worked on time? The release will be in 3 days as of the expected publishing of this video. Is everything up and ready for release, such as the server? Knowing thousands may hop online at day 1 to try and get as much as possible, whether it be account usernames, world names, or just higher level or whatnot. Is everything in order? That's it. That's not it. Sorry, past devs. This video was already edited and published and also scheduled for release. However, they dropped 2 more updates and I'm not going to not cover them. So the next video segment will be edited by on Steam right now. Genuinely, I appreciate every second of work that they've done for me and I wish I could do more at the moment. I am too tired and that is why they're editing this segment on short notice. Thanks a lot. Some items requirements before they are usable. These requirements are different level caps, such as level 7 before you can use small, medium, and large locks. This does not count for world locks, by the way, or battle locks. And this also counts for items that you wear, such as high damage deflecting armor, like perhaps the nether armor is locked behind some random level number. However, while this stops you from using said item, either the lock or the clothes or the armor, you can still own these items. You can use them for trading or you could store them in a storage or somewhat, but you won't be able to use the item unless you're of level 7 for the locks and of whatever level requirement they have for the other items, aside from world locks and battle locks thus far. According to them, this is to prevent early world grabbing and ensure a fairer start for everyone. But how is it fair when this almost forces you subconsciously to want to spend money to buy a world lock with gems via an IAP in order to get the gems to lock your world? Because a small lock is no longer quick access. So if someone really wanted to randomly steal your world, they could. And as said by the fellow YouTuber G, they've put it into great perspective quite well here, and I'll tag their video in the top right. If I'm being honest, I don't like this change at all. So for popular world names such as Trade and the names of admins and ex-admins such as Jake, Saskia, Midnight Walker, Commander K, etc., these will be reserved by an administrator, potentially by Saskia herself. This would be cool if it's also dynamic, potentially, such as the world Trade. Now imagine you enter Trade and it cycles you through Trade A to Trade Z. However, you don't really see Trade A or Trade Z, but it's just Trade. And if you want to select which one you enter, you can type Trade-A or just type Trade if you want to be put into a random one. That would kind of be nice if they are going to be the ones to own the world, but that's just my thoughts. But anyway, this is not for majority of worlds. It won't be done for worlds like Xiaomi, for example.
Suomi.
That was popular, but it wasn't a main trading world for the community at large. This change is not the worst, but at the very least, it's good because of the fact that the small lock world locks are, that level cap between them. Yeah, because of that level cap, it makes sense. But by itself, this is not a good update or a good change per se. Honestly, there's quite a lot, and I wasn't expecting these to drop so sporadically. Excuse me for the edit being a bit jarring if it is. Your boy is doing IRL things to make money, and let's just say it left me really tired. You can guess what job I'm doing now in the comments to make ends meet. It's not permanent. And no, I don't sell fans or feet. But anyway, this has been your boy DeVz. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next update. Hopefully they don't make another one before this video publishes.